Alright boys, so we're finally gonna start back up the Jett guides again, the map guides. So yeah, we're gonna be doing Icebox today, and if you don't know me, I am an Immortal 3 Jett Raze main pretty much since beta. Yada yada yada, you probably watched my other guides, so who cares, and yeah, let's just go. Alright, so real quick before we get into it, 85% of you aren't subbed, so if you like watching my content, you want to help me out, please hit the sub button below, and yeah, let's just go. Alright, so this is the thing about Icebox. It's a very like unique map, right? That's why a lot of people don't like this map. Is it's a lot of weird angles you can play. There's so many. Honestly, there's almost infinite plays you can do on Jett. But I'm just gonna go over the main ones that I've always found success with. So starting off on A defense here, this is a site that a lot of people struggle to hold here, and the reason they struggle is because people just play too passive on this site. The real way you should be playing on this site is a bit of aggression, especially if you're on this Jett. Like, you'll see a lot of Jett players, they'll just like play back here and they'll just like hide. But if you're playing like this, a lot of the time you're just going to lose the game because it's not strong. Now, saying that, one play I do really love doing is going for this angle here. Especially on these pistol rounds, I'll buy a sheriff and I'll just sit here and go for a one tap. Now, if you think about this from the enemy's point of view, right? They are, you know, they'll come up here, they'll clear like this, they'll clear, and they're not going to clear this, you know what I mean? Nobody in their right mind is clearing this, and that's why it's such a filthy angle. A lot of these angles on this site, another great one here for if you're opping and you do want to play a little bit more defensive is, I like opping here, but you can rifle it. You can play on this angle here, and nobody will ever spot you here. It's a very annoying angle. A lot of these little angles, you can also just jump on top of Jen. We're just going to go over some of the default spots here you can play. You know, you can just simply jump over on top of this generator. Pop your dash if you want. Obviously great for an op. And a lot of these spots, you can just replace them with an op, because the op is very good on Jett on this map. Especially on attack, or on defense. Attack, I do prefer rifling. But the other amazing play here you can go for is, as the barriers are coming down, this one I really like. Much easier if you got a teammate, right? So if you play an Icebox, you know, a lot of the time the Sovas are going to dart up here. Just right off the start. So if you can get a teammate to come shoot out this dart right off the start, it's great for an op especially. So what I like doing is, as the barriers drop, I'll run, jump over like this, jump over onto this, and then I'll try and pop a shot at a guy here, down here, just dash straight out then. And if he takes too long, or if it's just looking bad, don't be afraid, just dash out. And if anything ever goes wrong, this is the key thing about Jett. If anything ever goes wrong, let's say you go for this, you dash out, you fuck up your dash, you land like here, just smoke the ground and run the fuck away. That's the thing about Jett. You are essentially invisible when you have smokes like this. Like, they kind of know where you are, but they can't really kill you, you know what I mean? So those are some great spots there. The other great play you can do almost every round, to be honest, is you can run, jump over here, and just jump up on pipes like this. And you can do this pretty quietly. Just right off the start again. I really like doing some of these plays. You can just run over like this, and then you can kind of, if you hug the corner like this, they can't actually see you jump up. And then you can go for a quick peek on a guy. A lot of times you'll catch a guy down here. Or you'll catch them while they're jumping up. Great play as well. And some of the other plays you can do here is you can push up instead as the barriers drop like this. And what you can do, you can just push right up here. And you can either just play here, or if you really want, you can continue on over to jail here. And this is a very annoying spot to try and clear. And if anything goes wrong again, you can just smoke your way out. And that's the thing. It's all at risk reward on Jett here, on this defense. Like, you need as much value as possible, because the problem is on this A site, I hate it. You always hear in your comp games, you hear like, oh, stop pushing, why are you pushing, blah blah blah. But if you just sit back here, they're gonna overwhelm you. Like, the site is too hard to defend from this position, because they can come from here, fucking here. They're everywhere, you know what I mean? Like, you can't just sit back, especially not on Jett. Like, when you have the utility to get out of fights that aren't going your way, you need to start playing more aggressive here. So these are some of the great plays. It also works very well on Reyna here. I like pushing up like this, taking your fight and just getting out. And that's just some of the best plays there, are all those types of plays. You can also just eventually, like, you know, you can swap it up. You can play aggressive a couple rounds, and then you can just play back, get your kill, and get out. can see a lot of these filthy angles here. Another filthy angle is this one. I don't like this one as much. You can see people from here. Like, you can see them on that, but you can only really see the pixel of their head. So it's pretty, like, you can see them, but it's pretty hard to hit. That's why I prefer going for this angle here. Because you can see a bit more of their head, and they're never pre-aim either. But that is also an option. The other play you can have is just chilling on top of this thing. Very solid as well. Problem is, a lot of times there's a Viper wall here, so you can peek through the Viper wall, get your kill, and try and get out. Just be careful of that fall damage. And they are some of the most effective ways. Other thing you can also do is just grab this orb whenever you want. The smoke. So let's say you're one off your ult, you can just do that. And yeah, a lot of the time, even if you go for this play and they're going B, you can just say, alright, fuck it. And you can just go for the quickest flank of all time. Especially with this chamber nerf. Pretty quick flank here. Especially you can catch a guy on mid, you can catch a lot. And you can run pretty far here because the spawn is so big that they won't really, you can see the footsteps, like they won't really hear you. So that's why I think that's a solid play there. And for the retake, a lot of the time I will just come on this heaven angle here. And I'll just start clearing like this. This retake can be very frustrating. You kind of have to just clear everything and then try and maybe drop down, fight a guy. But you just want to have your teammates next to you to try and trade you. And you need to just slowly take space. And a lot of the times you can just hop on these ropes and go for a kill on these guys. Especially if you're quiet about it. They won't really expect it. If there's a couple of you alive, they definitely won't. But yeah, this retake can be very difficult. I would say play around this spot here a lot. It can be very helpful. Like, as long as you have this control, maybe you can smoke this off. But lineups are also like a factor you have to think about here. Yeah, another solid spot here is running over into this corner. This one's also very good for opping. Like I said, all of these angles pretty much are good for opping. And they're good for rifling. Like, they're pretty solid for both. The thing you have to just be wary of here is you can see the angle for the dash isn't, like, simple. Like, if you dash just right, you'll go like that. If you try and dash, like, at an angle, it's pretty weird. So you kind of have to take your shot and then do that. And if you fuck it up again, just smoke the ground and get yourself out of there. Another great angle here is just pushing up like this. If you can sneak your way into this spot as like they're executing out here, it's very good. Because you can try and get like 1 or 2 and just get your way out. And then you could just play retake 4v or 5v3, 4v4, whatever you like, whatever your plan here is. But these are just some of the great spots here. The other one is over here. Where is it? Just playing here. And then you can also go up here into this nest. Now, I'm not gonna lie, a lot of the times I play in this nest, I just die. I've seen it work and I have made it work a couple times, but a lot of the times you will get cleared here. So what you can do is you can play like parallel to this, so you can take your fight like this and then just dash straight out. It can be a lot more effective, or if you want to super hide in there, you can just crouch in that corner. But again, I feel like a lot of the times I'm getting cleared here. But they are some of my actual favorite plays here on the A side. Alright, for this mid position, I don't tend to hold here, like actually hold it. What I like to do is swap over to mid a couple times a game on the defense. So I won't really recommend playing here. It doesn't really make sense with Jett. Like, anyone can do this, so you might as well... What I like to do is either push down like this, and I'll pop my dash and take a fight. Always clear up here, by the way. There's a lot of cringe lords who like to sit in spawn. And you can slowly take mid here. And if you think that, like, you can... a lot of times there's going to be a Viper Orb here, so you could either push it and just take the risk. Or if you want to counter that Viper Orb, the other play I like doing is actually just going tube instead. Start here and just shift your way down. This catches so many Vipers off guard when you just straight push down tube here. A lot of times you'll just peek out and you'll see them just like sitting here, finger in their bum hole, doing not much, and you can just get a nice free kill on them. And then you can either choose to go for a flank instantly, or you can just go back and fight with your team on A or B. And that's pretty much all there is to mid on defense. I would just say be wary of lurks here a lot of the time. And you won't really be actually defending kitchen, to be honest, as Jett. Like, sometimes you'll find yourself in this position, but realistically, this whole section is just more connected onto B site. So we'll leave that for kind of there. Alright, so defending B, Now, B is okay, I would say. I wouldn't anchor here, like, constantly. You don't really want to anchor as Jett ever, to be honest. Like, if you're playing actual anchor and you're just staying on the same site, it's not the best for your character, you know? You're not really chamber. So, like, being able to fast rotate and stuff is nice. So, if you are playing B, I would recommend you have a teammate here. Like, maybe you have a guy here or a guy here. And the best plays you can do here is you can either just op on top of this. It's a great angle here. Or you can go wide and fight this angle. Now, if you're fighting this angle, you can see you're kind of exposed to here. But if you can aim here, click down there, and then just dash out if you want. And you can get on top of this box by just gliding over instead. You can see you can just run and glide over, and you can save your updraft for it. And one play that I love doing, I talked about this in my Raze video as well. This is so strong. So you jump up here. You see, you don't even have to use any utility to do this. And then as the barriers drop, you can either run and jump on top of this box. And pop your dash, go for a couple, and dash out then. Or you can just sit here and wait. Now, you gotta be aware. This is the problem. This is why I said a teammate's very nice. Is like, you know, fade eyes, Sova drones, Sova darts. Like, they are in the game. So that's why this is a bit more of a risky position. But it's very solid as well. Because you get a lot of information from here. Because you can see the footsteps here. Like, you get a decent range. And you can always just run and jump over here. And it's much easier than, like, say, Raze. Because I know I talked about this as well in my Raze video. Like, doing the actual skill jump here, you know, you can fuck it up sometimes. Whereas if you have the glide, you can't really fuck it up. So that's another solid one. Another great one here. I'm actually going to restart the round. Alright, so another great play here as well is you can see you can jump up here while the barriers are going down. And what you want to do is you want to updraft before the barriers drop like this. And then you can glide over on top of this thing. Now, this is an absolutely silly angle. Like, a lot of the time you're just going to catch people off and you updraft pre-round so that they can't hear it at all. So they don't even really know you're here. The most they'll hear is this little glide. And you can take just an easy free kill for yourself on top of that. That will work a lot of the time. And those are the only real places I'd recommend for B. Like, you can play up here, but it's kind of weird. Like, it's kind of fucked. Because, like, you have to watch out for this mid as well. But the most you're going to get here is, like, stopping the plant. That's why I'd recommend more of these plays. If you're opping as well, this angle's pretty strong if you think they're actually going to come here. You can sit in this off angle, and this used to be so much better on pre-nerf Jett. Or even, it's probably pretty decent on chamber still. Like, you can just sit there and then dash your way out. But obviously, if they don't come and you pop your dash, it's a pretty big waste. Now, on the retake, this site is fucked. This site's actually fucked for a retake. So a lot of the time, you end up in this position because A is your strongest site. So you're gonna end up in Snowman a lot of the time. So you're just gonna be like, kind of retaking like this. And one thing you gotta remember here is you can jump on top of this little guy, and you can just take fights here. And it's pretty hard for the enemy to see you, and not too hard for you to see them. If you have an op, especially, that's great. You can even see a lot of times, you know, they'll have the Viper wall up, and you can actually see above the Viper wall. So a lot of times people will get confident, and they will just die for it. The other solid spot for a retake here is through from kitchen. The reason it's good is because you can kind of make sure you have this mid control a little bit. You can even, like, if you suspect there's a guy here, but you gotta go now, you know, you could smoke that off and then go for it. And one play, if our team is starting to actually fight and we're, like, are pushing up and I'm stuck in this position, a lot of times I'll just dash out on top of yellow and just take a fight on a guy. Because a lot of times they just don't expect you to dash straight on top of yellow. That's why I think it's pretty solid here. Like, you can just dash out and just start fighting people. And, you know, if your teammates are pushing up and there's a guy here and you're also coming above his head, it's pretty good. So those are the best little spots here for the B retake. And you're really just kind of, you know, like, it's just a retake here. Like, you got to try and take this space off the enemy and make sure that they can't, like, sit there with lineups and stuff. That's your, like, main goal. You don't want to waste too much time so that the lineups could beat you. And yeah, we'll move ahead onto attack. Alright, on this attack again, it's gonna be a lot of the time, if you played this map a lot, you know people love to just hit A. And A is just so easy to overwhelm. That's why it's like a solid site that people love hitting. So A is still going to be your strongest site here, and you've got 2 plays you can do straight off the bat here if you want. Now, you can just updraft on either of these instantly, just straight away. Like, what I will do is pop my dash first, and then I'll go for like a fight here. I used to like this one. I like this one kind of more when I'm upping. I'll just jump up here and try and take a fight real quick. Or I will just straight off the bat, I'll just updraft like this, and I'll just swing a guy so quick. And you'll see, the way you'll want to be doing this is, you'll want to just, like, barriers will go down. Updraft over, if you updraft kind of, like, I'll do it again. Over here, and then just swing a guy. It's pretty good, because you're not, like, you can shoot your gun the whole time. And you'll see, it's kind of awkward, because you'll have to clear all these angles, like, pretty quickly. But that's the thing, since you have your dash, you can just instantly, if you see a guy and you're like, nah, he's gonna kill me, you can just dash away, so it's completely fine. But you'll want to just clear your angles. You know, maybe you can spam this a little bit if you think there might be a guy there. And when you're over, like, towards here, you want to really clear that. Because sometimes there's people just sitting there. And you can just instantly take that fight. That's why I really like doing that play. If the enemy are catching on to it, and they're, like, pre-aiming you, and they know you're doing it every round, just, you know, you can give it up for a bit. You can change it up. Only thing is, I don't really like going over here. At all, really. If you are going here, I'd recommend you smoke this. Because, like we were talking about on the other side, people like to just sit here with an op and get free kills. So, if you are going there, smoke that off, and you can see they can't see you. So they're just going to be blind firing with the op, and you'll save your teammates for doing that as well, because some people are dumb. But if you do want to go lower, like, you can always just walk up here and drop down instead. I think it's much safer, because you don't have that risk. And yeah, so the way I'll continue talking about coming from this side first, and then we'll go over going from below. So a lot of the time I will just come up and I'll start clearing those angles, and we'll make it over here. And if I still have my dash, I'll just run, jump in like this. Like, I'll try and get some utility from my teammates. So, like, especially for this right corner here, because it's very annoying. But a lot of the time, I'll either run and jump over here, if I know this is clear, because I kind of cleared most of it. And then I'll run and jump on top of this thing. Or I'll just straight up jump on the ropes here. You know, I'll just jump on the ropes and try and maybe smoke something off here, smoke myself, bang bang. They got, like, you probably got a Viper wall here, and I'll just take a fight on someone here. And if you want to clear this, I'd recommend clearing it on the rope. Instead of, like, because dropping down like this, it's, like, pretty awkward for you, and you might miss. Whereas if you're on the rope and you just counter strafe on the rope, like, you can see, you can take a fight real quick and just back out if you want. So I'd recommend clearing that on the ropes. And at this point now, you got, like, a couple options. You kind of broke open the site pretty much. And a lot of times what I like to do is just run and jump over here and play pretty aggressively. Especially if I think we need kills, like we lost a couple people on the site take. I'll just run, jump over here. Maybe I'll take a fight over here. Bang, bang, bang. And I can dash out, or I can just walk away if something's going wrong. So that is, like, the main spot from above that I like doing. And obviously you're going to want to clear the bottom site. If you're not clearing the bottom site and you're just going straight heaven, you need to tell your team that. Like, you need to clear bottom site, you know what I mean? Just so people don't die to, like, people sitting in that corner. But yeah, the other way I would say to entry this site is you can do this, and you can either run and jump like this. Honestly, it's kind of risky, because those people on gen can kill you pretty easy if you just run and jump like this. But the reason I usually end up doing this is because a lot of the time I will just go and clear nest like this. Just really quick. Quick little clear, and then I'll run over this way. And I'll jump up and go from pipes instead. Now, the thing you got to be wary of is, remember when I was talking about defense, this angle here? A lot of times you'll see people just sitting in this angle. So you want to clear that first, then you want to kind of clear here, and then clear the rest of your angles. Don't fall off like an idiot. And then what I like to do is kind of like smoke around. Run, jump up, try and take some fights here. And you have your dash the whole time, so if you need to get out, you can just get out. And another, if you want to go even more aggressive here, if you have CT walled with like a Viper wall, you can just run and jump on top of this thing. And try and take a fight from here. Now, a guy who's peeking out of rafters here, he's not going to see you here. So you pretty much guaranteed one here. And then you could like peek through the Viper wall and then take another fight and dash out. So that's honestly like very solid. You can see A site here, it's got a lot of options, and there's probably infinitely more options I'm not even speaking about here. That's why this video, it's hard to make, because I'm just going to tell you like most of the angles I know are working, but don't be afraid to get creative on Jett, man. Like, there is so many different entry paths on this character, just because of how much mobility you have, you know? So don't be afraid to just get creative. Try and find out some of your own plays. I'm just going to go over like the ones I know are working, you know? So we'll move ahead onto mid here, which is probably going to be pretty short. Actually, we are going to go over the post plan here first. So this post plan can be pretty awkward. A lot of times you'll have the bomb planted like here or like here. I can't plant the bomb because my spike is on F. You know, you'll have it here. And this post plant, I shouldn't have planted. Yeah, this post plant, like, a lot of the times you'll kind of be playing a lot safer because this site is so awkward. The main place I like staying is kind of here and just pre-aiming and waiting for a guy. And if you just sit on the edge here, you can just, like, drop down straight away. Or you can just fight up here. And the bomb's gonna blow up, I'm kind of scared. But there's not much to talk about here. It's all about playing around this. And if you're last alive, fight around this thing. That's all, like, you really have to do in this post plan. It's all about just stalling until this thing blows the fuck up. Alright, so mid on this map is a lot more of a lurk position, to be honest. Like, you don't really want to push mid that much. The only real play I'm going to talk about here, like, you could just run mid and split kind of with your team. But, like, most of your team are going here, and maybe you're trying to go quick mid. Now, that's the only real, like, play I'm kind of liking here, because mid, it's a weird spot here. So, what I like to do here, especially with knives, I'm going to go over knife spots last, but with knives, it's very strong, or with op, it's pretty strong. Even just with rifle, like, it's pretty strong at all. Like, you just kind of dash over here and just start taking fights. A lot of the time, you'll have, like, a Sage walling this on tube, and you maybe can get a quick kill on her, and then you can try and fight people here. Then you just kind of run down B. This is, like, literally what I will do is I'll just run down B and I'll just try and get a flank on this guy that my teammates are trying to fight. And maybe I'll kill that Sage on kitchen. Like, that is the only real play I'd suggest doing on mid here. The other things you can do, like I said, is just kind of lurk up here, but it's not really your job to be lurking, so that's what I mean. The only solid spots there is just dashing out straight away and just taking a fight on someone that's like, maybe there's someone placing a trip here, maybe there's a Sage walling at the start of the round. You can kill that guy pretty easily, or you can catch a lot of Vipers here. That's the main character I catch out here. I catch Vipers kind of running away. And you can just kind of chill here for a little bit and just keep fighting the rotators. And you're a bit of a nuisance to deal with up there, so that's like the solid play. The other play is you can go up tube, but a lot of the time you can't go up tube just from the amount of util that gets used here. But if you can manage to make your way up here, it's very, very solid, because you can just start peeking out over this way. That's why, again, if you do take the fight, let's say, we're going to go with the Sage example here. If you can take that fight on the Sage, and then you can just instantly run up here, you can just kill rotators for free. Like, they won't expect you there so quick. You're in such a odd position so fast. So that's your two plays there. It's just running there or running there. And the other thing you can do is just dry swing it. But, like, you know, you can do that anywhere, so we're not really going to talk about that. But that's, like, the main real play you have on mid-attack here. The other thing you can do, again, is you can just try and fight people, and you can try and split A, but I don't really like it that much. Like, it's an okay play, and it can work sometimes, but it's not... I never found much consistency just trying to fight mid from here. Because even trying to cross here, like, you kind of have to smoke your way off. I don't know, like, you can try it and experiment with it, but it's not a play I tend to do as much as just fighting on top of tube. And the last place we have here is going on to B site. Now, with B, one play that I like doing straight away, especially, like, if they have an opper and stuff, is I'll just smoke this and just updraft my way up here instead. One play, like, you'll see some other players opting to just dash out this way, but I kind of prefer to just keep my dash. I'd rather use a smoke here, because I'm pretty much guaranteed to make it. And then I can just clear these angles, so I'd recommend just smoking it instead of dashing it. But you can dash it as well. And then from here, you can just, like, try and fight people, and then you can have your dash now. And then you can just slowly creep your way up like this. And then if you want to try and... Oh, I didn't not mean to ult. You can clear yellow by just dashing out like this. And now you're in like a great position here. So you can, a lot of the times, you know, you'll have like different util coming in from guys up here. There'll be like some Viper wall cutting you off. So what you can do is you can just pre-fire this, or you can like smoke your planter. And you can just try and take fights from up here. I'd recommend like sitting near the edge again, because you probably don't have your dash at this point. If you do have your dash, you can play wherever you want. But if you're sitting near the edge here, you take a fight and then someone spots you, you're like, okay, now it's time to reposition. And that's like the main thing there. The other like way you can do it is you can keep your dash updraft over here. You know, you clear yellow, you clear all this stuff, and then you just dash all the way over here and take fights here, and you can slowly get into kitchen. This is very good if you're entering and then the guy on yellow dies just straight away, and then you can just save your dash. You're like, oh, okay, I'll just dash aggressively, and then you can like get into this spot here. Very, very good. Like, you can just kind of sit here, especially if the enemy are like fast enough rotating. They won't really like expect you here so quick, and if you hear their footsteps, you can just swing on them and kill the guy. And then eventually, like, sometimes you can make it back here, and if you're in this position, like, it's solid. You can kind of go over here, but you probably will get cleared, so I recommend playing like, instead of sitting tucked like this, sit on kind of like this angle here, because the enemy are going to be like this, right? They're going to be like, and then they're going to swing like that, and you're going to be like over here. So it's a lot better than just sitting straight in this corner here. So keep those things on your mind. You can also updraft up here and just fight these rotators just straight up. But yeah, those are kind of the plays here. Now, for the post plant, this position here is great. Just being a nuisance here, being really annoying to kill is like the main thing. If you, like, how many times you've been playing on this site and you all group up yellow and die in the retake? I don't know about you, but that happens too often. That's why I recommend playing like a nuisance, playing in these really annoying angles, try and get another kill. Just playing like a one in, if it's like a 3v3 or something and you're playing these weird angles and you're like getting more kills for it, it's probably worth it. Like, at this point, you probably don't have much utility left. If you can get one or two more from playing like more aggressively and in a weirder angle here, if you can loop as they're coming in there here, by the way. Well, I'm saying, I said that terribly. So, like, if the enemy are coming from here and you, like, are chilling here and you can loop them like this, it's very, very strong. But it's all just about being a nuisance. Like, you don't have much utility left here. If you're low health, I'd say play your life. It's probably your best option. Or, like, go back. Maybe you get healed from your Sage or something. But if you have the HP and your teammates are also healthy, don't be afraid to just play aggressively and get those extra kills. And just playing these really annoying to clear angles where you're like very, very threatening. But stay alive as long as you can and get as many kills as you can in that post plant. It's all about ticking down the timer to get that bomb to blow up. But yeah, we're just gonna go over all the ult spots on this map now. Alright, so my first ult spot here that I like doing is as the barriers come down, I'll just dash updraft like this and fight some guys mid. It's very, very solid. Like, again, you can just instantly pop out and just fight a guy here. So it's very, very good here. The other great spot, it actually just links in very well here, is let's say you are fighting mid here. Let's say you want to push up with your knives, and then the enemies start executing on B site, or like your teammates are calling, oh, they're B, they're B. This spot is actually disgusting. So what you can do is dash updraft like this, and you can just start fighting people like that. Now this is literally filthy. Like, you can just start fighting people all the way there. That is crazy. I've gotten so many nice just kills here from just doing this. It's even good on, like, while you're retaking. Like, it's a very, very solid spot here. One of my other favorites is all the way over here on top of this thing again. So a lot of the times I'll be doing this spot just when I'm rotating. So I'm like rotating from A and I'll just jump on top of this thing. And I'll just double updraft really high in the air here and I'll start fighting people. And then I can dash my way out. If you want, you can just dash all the way out and double updraft. But you can see you're a lot more vulnerable when you're doing that, rather than just like keeping your dash to escape. But yeah, that's another solid one. And the last, like, another one that I, like, would be like, yeah, this is a solid one, is just kind of, like, getting up super high on A site here, like this, and just fighting people here. You can see that the height, oh, what's it called? The, like, I don't know, the max height limit in this map is very, very tall. You can see, like, you can go super, super high. So that's why Jett's, like, solid on this map. Now, I'm not gonna talk about some of the other bug spots. I don't know if they're still in the game, to be honest. Like, I know there used to be a couple bug spots there. But, I got this little fun one for you. So, sometimes, you got knives like this. You can kind of just fly out like this. It's a pretty cool play, I'm not gonna lie. I remember back in the day, I had a clip where I just kind of frenzied a guy like that. It's pretty cool.
Gun here.
I don't know how optimal it is. I haven't really done it in a while, but any slanted things like this, you can updraft and it like propels you super far. Pretty cool play. You might get like a cool right click from it. So there's your little chill one for the end. Your fun one. Go fuck around with that. But yeah, that's gonna be the video anyway, boys. So thanks for watching, like, sub, all that stuff. Let me know what map you want to see next. I'm thinking Haven. Haven's the next like one I really am thinking about. But if you want a different one, let me know. Maybe you want Pearl or some shit. I don't know. Join the Discord, follow me on Twitch, all that stuff, and yeah, we'll see you later.